What's going on, guys? It's your boy the Mana Shark here, and today we're going to be drafting some traditional core set 2020 1500 gems, hit our 3 wins, get 4 packs, break even on the whole deal, and keep the train going. We're trying to collect as many cards from this set as possible, go infinite. We're down to 9,000 gems from our initial 20k. Here and there you'll get some losses. Sometimes you will get wins and get ahead of that 1500. But yeah, we're gonna just kind of keep getting value out of it. Ooh, and pack 1 is looking hot. We have Night Pack Ambusher. I'll explain these cards a little bit more in detail given how early the set is, and then in future drafts I'll maybe not take it as slow, but I'm thinking out loud largely. I don't know the set that well. So we have a 4 mana 4 for flash. Other wolves and werewolves get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't cast a spell this turn, create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. So chances are you could flash this out, kill something, and even if it trades with something later, that's a 2-for-1. And down the road, if you're on turns where you're just blinking, or you're holding up some other stuff, he gets good. He produces more wolves. So that seems like a fantastic card. Definitely the first pick here, but let's look at some other cards and see if we could learn anything else about this new set. So we have Disfigure to handle smaller creatures. Seems pretty solid. Shock is always a great card to draft, and Disfigure is probably just as good. Even though Shock can go face, that usually doesn't matter. Usually it's just there as an efficient answer to smaller creatures. Overcome. So overrun effects are sometimes pretty good. And I don't think Overcome is that much of an exception here. I don't know how high you'd rate it, but it seems good. I'm not Warlord. Okay, power equals another creatures. So to go wide strategy, this seems pretty solid. Most of these gold uncommon creatures and permanents are very, very strong, and great early picks. Protector is decent. This is a reprint here. Okay. Blood Burglar, Scorch Spitter, Leafkin Druid, which is fairly decent. Wolfkin Bond. Okay. Seems like it's something that maybe we could pick up to make our Ambusher better later in the draft. And Galen. Alright, so we grab the Night Pack Ambusher here. And now we have Dragon Mage. This card used to be a rare. Seasons of Growth. I don't really know how good that is in draft, but it seems like a cool card. Corpse Knight is very solid. Moment of Heroism is pretty good. Cloudkin Seer is probably one of the better commons in the set. It could very often just be a 2-for-1. Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. Destroy a creature opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. That's a lot of mana to do that effect, but these effects are usually good. Soul Salvage. Chandra's Embercat. Okay. Not bad. Smuggler. Oh, so this card existed before, but they basically added a mana to beef up its power by 1 and give it haste. So an upgrade over Tunneler. Big fan. Airstrike. Good sideboard card. Feral Invocation. Fairly decent combat trick here. So I'd imagine, and I could be totally wrong, right? I'd imagine the best cards in the pack here are Cloudkin Seer and Corpse Knight. I don't think Season of Growth is necessarily a good card. So yeah, we're going to go with the Cloudkin Seer here. Alright, Howling Giant. 7 mana for 9 power. And they're wolves. That's sick. Diviner's Lockbox. That's probably not good. Pattern Matcher. Probably not good as well. Then we got... maybe has some moments here and there, but... Negate, not good in limited usually. Unsummon is not usually good either. Siphon, that's good. Embercat, this used to be an uncommon that got downgraded. It's probably fairly mediocre. Growth Cycle, probably not that good. Fine combat trick. You don't even want to be playing multiples of these. Mammoth Spider is a good pickup. Being able to stop flyers really well as a 5-drop. So I think that the pick can go to Howling Giant, Agonizing Siphon, or Mammoth Spider. I think if the format's slow enough, Howling Giant is just the best card, right? I think it's undoubtedly true that it's just massive. You get a lot of power out of it. It has great synergy with their Ambusher. And if the format is slower, Spider's the pickup. And the fact is this is not in either of our colors so far, but we're very early in the draft, so this is still a fine pickup. But I'm going to go with the Howling Giant here. Now we have Blood-Soaked Altar. Pay 2 life, discard card, sack a creature, get a 5/5. That's not very good. I'm sure there's the decks for it, though. Yarrick's Fenlurker seems decent. Aerial Assault. It seems like a card that ranges from good to better, but not something maybe worth going in some colors for. Bone to Ash and Fairy Miscreant. Bone to Ash is a much slower play that gets lots of great value. And I really appreciate, having that. And Miscreant in multiples, once you get a bunch rolling, it gets good. But until then, it's pretty miserable. Sleep Paralysis. This card is pretty strong. Keeping a creature locked down is always a great effect in limited. Then we have Feral Abomination. That's a reprint, I think. Soul Salvage. Returning creatures from graveyard to your hand. Okay. Destroying lands is usually bad, but the Falter effect on Tectonic Rift is not to be ignored. It's a good sideboard card, probably. Feral Invocation, decent pump. Natural End, good sideboard card. And Rugged Highlands, if we're already in red-green or something. We're going to pick up the Sleep Paralysis here, and all of a sudden we're in a pretty solid green-blue deck so far. Cryptic Caves. This card can get real good in late game, and a solid pickup. Befuddle. Shrink a creature, draw a card. It's one of those cards that really can get really solid value. What's that card? It's like Slime Blind, but you're drawing a card as well. It's not permanent. And I think it's a fine card if you're later in the draft, but earlier in the draft, I think, it's not necessarily what you're looking for here. Sorry, I'm just trying to click out of some stuff. Then we have Greenwood Sentinel. If you're just looking for 2-drops, Greenwood Sentinel seems pretty good. You basically, you want to hit your 2-drops. You want to make sure you have that part of that curve covered, especially if we're looking to do some later game stuff. But that being said, it's nothing special here. So I'm going to go with the Cryptic Caves. I think this card is probably fantastic. If our mana could afford it, if we're just in 2 colors like this, if we end up in Rug with an elemental deck, then this becomes a lot less playable. But if we're just in 2 colors, all of a sudden we have a lands that we can cash in for a card once we're flooded in the late game. So I'm happy to pick up a Cryptic Caves here, especially because it doesn't actually go into our final count. You only get you're playing 17 lands typically. You only get 23 cards that are going in your deck. So that means only 23 of your picks will end up actually in your deck. And so any good lands that you pick up that fix your mana, that, Cryptic Caves that have an ability of some sort, man lands, whatever, those get you almost value in a sense because you're playing, instead of 23 of your picks in your deck, you're playing 24 of your picks in your deck. And that's just a great thing to do. So we have God's Willing, a nice upgrade to uncommon, a great protection spell, Battalion Foot Soldier, probably one of the stronger white commons. We've seen cards like this before at pretty decent, and they get a lot better. Anticipate is a card you usually don't want to be playing, but it'll be your 23rd card if you need it. Feral Abomination, just a solid big guy, nothing crazy. Mind Rot in a slower metagame is fantastic, and in sideboard games can be really good. Unholy Indenture. Probably not good. Probably not good. But I'm sure there's a deck for it. Aeronaut seems okay. Keldon Rider can get pretty good. Maniacal Rage. So there's not, and Growth Cycle. There's nothing we particularly care about. For the sake of the best card in the pack is probably like maybe Keldon Raider or God's Willing, actually. But I kind of really like where we are with green blue, and I like to stay that way and kind of, especially when we're dealing with bots, like make sure they know we're in these colors. So I think we're most solid in green. I think the pick can go to God's Willing, or it could just go to like a Growth Cycle for edging out the bots here. But this is also a Foot Soldier, so maybe it is a little bit of a signal. You know, let's pick up the God's Willing here. Let's see what we're doing. The best card in our colors is not that good. And now we have Overcome. Back at it again. You know, a card that, like, if you go wide, can get really good. I think it was a reprint from one of the Amonkhet sets, like Hour or Amonkhet. They have +2/+2 versus +3/+3 can mean a big difference. If we're more on the aggressive end, it can get pretty good. Other than that, we have Metropolis Sprite, which is fairly decent. Nothing to write home about, but like a card that I've played some in Gatecrash, and you want your 2-drops, it's your 2-drop. And then we have Force Claw, one of the bigger boys that you can throw in your deck. What's this do? Salvage of Ruin. Sack it, choose target permanent in your graveyard that was put through this battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand. So it can get something back. That's not nothing. This is hard. All right, so I think the pick will go to Metropolis Sprite here. Salvager just seems a bit narrow, and Overcome, I don't know if we're really an Overcome deck yet. So the pick here will go to Metropolis Sprite. Yeah, just, you know, make sure we have our 2-drops. Overcome can get pretty good, but shit. So the pick here will go to Overcome. It's just the stronger card. We're still early in the pack here, in the very beginning of the draft, so I'm okay picking this up. It's not a fantastic card, but we have some cards that help us go wide and make sure we can hit stuff. So this pack, we have another God's Willing, Brineborn Cutthroat. Whenever you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. So we have one flash card, and we could maybe pick up some more. It might just be a 2-mana 2/1. And Greenwood Sentinel is just a 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance. And aside from that, you know, cards we already covered here. So I'm going to pick up the Brineborn Cutthroat. The fact that itself has flash can be pretty nice to maybe help trade up. And then maybe it gets some extra value if we pick up some more flash cards here. So we already have one Overcome. I don't want any more, that's for sure. Glaring Aegis is definitely a reprint. It does nothing, and Blood Burglar can be better than like what Child Knight usually is, but just a 2-mana 2/2. Spitter, if you need elemental count, it's fine. Wolfkin Bond. So it itself is like 5 mana, 4 power worth of things, and that's not terrible. Heart Piercer Bow. If the creatures are small enough, can be pretty good, but generally speaking, it doesn't do enough. So I'd imagine playing it in the blind, I don't think is good. There maybe if the set has like some small enough things, we can talk Heart Piercer Bow. But for now, I think Wolfkin Bond, I'm not sure how playable it is. Like, I'd imagine it's, like, unimpressive. It's only 4, even at its best, like, the risk of an enchantment, it's only 4 power. And Jungle Hollow, whatever, it maybe opens up opportunities. We're early in the draft. Let's pick up this Jungle Hollow here. And now we're past Fathom Fleet Cutthroat, which seems fairly decent. Feral Invocation, which is, like, a good combat trick, and it's in our colors. And it has Flash, and it triggers our Brindeboar Cutthroat. So I'm going to pick it up here. Probably not playing this God's Willing. Prismite, just a 2-drop. Maybe if we're in a 3rd color, it'll help us get there. Growth Cycle, once again. Not crazy about it, but I could see it. Pattern Matcher and Diviner's Lockbox. Lockbox is definitely terrible. Pattern Matcher? Where do we stand on that? If we just have one set of doubles, like if we're just like, if we just pick up whatever, another Cloudkin Seeder, and we just go Cloudkin Seeder and find the second one, he goes from 4-mana 3/3 to a 4-mana 3/3 that drew a card. So, you know what? Let's take this Pattern Matcher, because Prismite's pretty terrible. And here we have, nothing we really care about that much. This Natural One can be a good sideboard card. We got a signal for black being open. And I don't know if it's really worth splashing Feral Abomination, but like if our mana is good enough, we just kind of do it anyway. But I'm going to take this Natural in here. We're not going to splash a double black card, although this is a pretty good card to have. Splashing double colors can be a little rough. And we'll pick up this Sentinel here over the Befuddle. And between Unholy Indenture and Growth Cycle, do we have anything that really... Unholy Indenture, not really. Let's grab that eventual Growth Cycle and throw it in the board. Alright, so this pack looks solid. We got Temple of Silence. Temples are great. If you're even in just one of these colors, it's a fine pickup to have. Like if you're just like white, blue, you pick up the Temple of Silence. Renowned Weaponsmith can be pretty decent. The fact that they could find the bow or the Dragonfire makes it a lot better. We just don't have a lot of artifacts to really take advantage of that. Vampire of Dire Moon. Normally 1-mana 1/1 death touches are good, and the fact that maybe it'll gain some life seems decent. If you throw a bow on it, you can do some gross stuff. Howling Giant number 2. That can be a little rough, but it is really powerful. Aegis, Pacifism, one of the best commons in the set. Without even knowing the set too well, like it always is, just one of the best. It's unconditional removal. The fact is the worst part about it is that it's an enchantment, and maybe the creature has activated abilities, or they find ways to sack the creature and get value out of it, or blow up the enchantment. But like most of the time, Pacifism is just the creature is just gone basically. Sprite, pretty okay. Unsummon, Boneclad Necromancer. If you exile a creature, you get 5 power worth of stuff, and nothing really cares about the graveyard, I'd imagine. So nothing great, but it's playable here. Sorcerer of the Fang. It's not really that great, but playable. Goblin Bird Grabber seems decent, and Ferocious Pup. I love me a good pup. It's 3 mana, 2/3 worth of power, and with a sack outlet, can really like turn it to something more than just 3 mana 2/3, because it gives you 2 bodies, and for Overcome it's 2 bodies for the overrun effects. If we can get ramp going, Howling Giant is just the better card, right? Like the fact that we can just top our curve with 2 of these big boys would be nasty. That being said, like I think more realistically, Ferocious Pump is just like a card we're gonna be excited to cast in the earlier stages of the game, and still works later in the game with Overcome well. So while I like him better as a card, I'm not sure about playing 2 7-drops with like not really a plan to get there, as opposed to playing Ferocious Pup. Ooh, and here we have Elvish Reclaimer, which in itself, in limited, it's probably not going to get to the 3-4 stage. And it'll just be like a 1-mana 1/2 that, maybe later in the game you grind it out into something. But for the most part, I think it just kind of sits there. If you have Evolving Wilds and like the Vulture, it could grow into something big and something nice. Does fix our mana. We also have Barkhydrol, which can be a 3/3, which is a 3/3 for 2, and can protect himself, which is pretty solid. Angel of Vitality, which lets you go from a 2/2 flyer into a much nicer 4/4 flyer. Like, that seems good as well. Colossus Hammer, that makes your guy huge. Wow, okay. If you go Y, Inspired Charge can be good. More like Inquisitor, I think, is a reprint. Not bad. Pacifism again. Zephyr Charge, a card that I kept skipping over because honestly I'm just so used to like conditioned to like not even look at this card. It's pretty terrible. Soul Salvage and Destructive Digger. Not bad. Okay. Bird Grabber. Rabbit Bite can be pretty darn good. Rabbit Bite's usually one of the top commons in the set. Like, it normally is the best you can really get, especially out of green. And then Inspire Golem, Stone Golem, sorry. Just a body, pretty much. Bloodfell Gaves. So I think the pick goes down to Barkhydrol or Rabbit Bite. Let's see. Deals damage to power. What's our power looking like? It's looking fairly decent. Barkhydrol, I don't know. A 3/3 for 2 can be pretty good, especially if you hit it on curve. But removal, I don't know what the instant speed interaction looks like. And I think I'm more inclined with this deck, at least. I think I'm looking to pick up the Rabbit Bite here over the Barkhydrol, but I think it's really, really close. Elvish Reclaimer wouldn't be that bad, but I think the other two cards are just better. Yeah. Let's see. Wait, what's our body count looking like before I make this pick and regret my life? 2, 3. So we have 3 non-creature spells. 9, 8, 7. Okay, we could pick up the Rabbit Bite here, and we'll get there. And look, we got a Barkhydrol. That's pretty solid. Devout Decree, just a good hate card for the sideboards. Aerial Cell, good removal spell. Frost Links, one of the better commons that you can pick up. I think Barkhydrol's better than it, but it's still a great card. And Thicket Crasher, other elementals of Trample. That's not bad. But we're going to pick up the Barkhydrol here. Happy to do it this time around. All right, this pack's looking decent. We have Herald of Sun, a card that we're not going to be able to play, but I mean, it seems really strong, like a self-producing engine. Yarrick's Wave Crasher, if we have like some enter the battlefield effects that we want to take advantage of, we could definitely do it, like Ferocious Pup and Howling Giant. Seems decent. And Mammoth Spider, just solid blocker. You know, I'm down to try Yarrick's Wave Crasher. Generally, like, these effects in core set at least, they don't really get you that bad. Like, our ETBs are not quite there yet, but like, it can end up into a house, and I like that ability in a slower format. So we've Veil of Summer, a card that we don't really care for. Sage Road Denizen. If you're not like looking to mill your opponent out, your mill does not matter. So it's just a 3-mana 2/3, unless you get like the magical deck where you just have like 4 of them. Sleep Paralysis, just a solid removal spell. Netcaster Spider to block flyer as well, and we have our green blue land, which can maybe something can come around here because this pack's pretty decent. So I think the pick either goes to Sleep Paralysis or Netcaster Spider, and I'd imagine it's kind of close. think given our lower body count, I'm down to take a Netcaster Spider over a second Sleep Paralysis. Especially if we don't want our Wave Crasher like returning our own, like himself, because we're out of things. Thought Distortion. That's just a really cool card that they printed. Bone to Ash can be pretty decent. Especially the fact that we can hold up 4 mana for it. Or Night Pack Howler. Night Pack Ambusher, sorry. And some other stuff we have with Flash. So it's not terrible. Gift of Paradise. You know, we do have a Howling Giant in here. And nothing really else. But, like, it's small incentive. I think it, like, either of these picks don't really matter. And Fortress Crab just a 1/6. Like, it's there for very specific sideboard games, pretty much. I'm down to pick up the Bone Ash here. And, like, a slower matchup, we can board it in. Hardcover. Ooh, turns a creature into a Merfolk Looter. You know, that seems pretty decent. Like, Merfolk Looter is one of the better cards. But then again, like, you get 2 for 1. And, like, it kind of protects it. I don't know. Overgrowth Elemental enters battlefield with 1/1 counter for each elemental. You control whenever another creature you control dies, gain 1 life. And if that creature is an elemental. How many elementals we got? We have Cloudkin Seer, that's 1. Wave Watcher, that's 2. Okay. So it's not that great. A 3 mana 3/2 is not, like, it's not nothing. It's still a playable card. Moat Piranhas, that's pretty funny. It seems decent in a, you know, deck that wants to go into the law game. Brightwood Tracker is a much slower version. Like, if you play with, like, Vivian's Grizzly, you'll just know there's some games that go out to stalls, and Brightwood Tracker can maybe help you get through them. And Healer of the Glade is probably not good. It's great in Standard, probably, as a good sideboard card. But for now, we're going to take this Overgrowth Elemental. We're in pack 2. Maybe we could pick up some more Elementals that we want to play anyway. And it's a decent body on its own. So Rule of Law, great card to be reprinted. But not unlimited, really. Audacious Thief. Ooh, that's not bad. It can be like a Phyrexian Rager effect, and maybe even more. Gift of Paradise is a ramp spell. Heartpiercer Bow. And a land. So we're going to pick up this Gift of Paradise here. Maybe it'll help us ramp if we want to get, if we offer another time where we get like a second big fatty like Howling Giant. Like, I'll take it. Metropolis Sprite. Renowned Weaponsmith. If we're playing with Dragonfire and Heartpiercer Bow, can be better, but I think just in a vacuum, like Metropolis Sprite is probably the better card in our deck. And now we have nothing we really care about here. So we'll just pick up, I don't know. We're not going to play anything in this pile. So whatever, we'll pick up the Stone Golem, sure. Maybe we have to play it. That'd be a bad situation. This is a late aerial assault. If we find ourselves in a spot where, like, the white splash is free, like, we'll take it, because we don't really care about any of these things. Like, we don't want to be playing Anticipate, and we're doing pretty well in playables right now. Like, not including lands, we have 18, and, like, we could see ourselves cutting a couple, but we don't really care for Anticipate quite yet. We'll pick one up if we want one. That's a late Mammoth Spider. Happy to pick that up, and do well with it. Sage's Row Denizen or Maniacal Rage. We could pick up the Denizen just as, like, a body, and Seasons of Growth doesn't really, like, do anything. If everyone has, like, 10,000 removal spells, sure, but yeah, we'll pick up this Denizen and not want to play it. We'll pick up the Dragon Mage for fun. And Healer, sweet, for our Standard. And so we have Grafdigger's Cage, a great sideboard card in a lot of formats. Not good in Limited, doesn't do anything. Gravedigger, very solid card. Possibly worth splashing. I don't really think so, but if our mana is that good, like, we could just can. Dragon Mage, Goblin Ringleader, great reprint. If we're really heavy in red and you have a lot of goblins, that could be good. Octoprofit's pretty decent as a blue common. Happy to pick it up here. Fathom Fleet, Cutthroat, decent. Lavakin Brawler can get pretty good, but for the most part, it's pretty garbage. And Centaur Courser, like, it's a card that you can play it, right? It's a decent 3-drop. You'll hit it. It can punch through a lot of things. Like 3/3 is a lot better than a 3/2. Like it is so much better than a 3/2. So I think it's between that and Octoprofit here. Octoprofit's being 1 more mana. I guess it depends on our curve a little bit. Let's see. So, you know, Octoprofit might fit like just as well. Because we already have, we're not casting this on curve. We might not even be playing this. But yeah, Octoprofit. We have a decent amount of 3-drops. We can pick up a 4-drop like Octoprofit. If we had duplicates of Courser, maybe I'd pick it up just to make the matcher better. But I'm down to pick up Profit here. Alright, so we have Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Not bad. Flame Sweep, a card we can't play, but pretty good. And a bunch of cards we can't play. So many pacifisms, man. Boreal Elemental. Not the best, but not bad either. 5-drop, you know, flyer. 4/3 flyer is already pretty decent. Like your 4 toughness is big. That's like, that is quite the caboose that they would have to deal with. It's an elemental, which helps our where is he? Overgrown elemental. So we'll pick it up here. I think we're happy to play it. Creeping Trailblazer. Really solid. If you're in the elemental deck, like he gets real good. We currently don't have that many elementals. I think we just have 4 elementals. I don't know if it's worth like splashing him. But you know, it's a good card. And aside from that, like, you know, we have the Courser, the Wolf Invocation, Wolfkin Bond. Oh my god, shut up, dog. We'll pick up the Courser here. I don't think we're splashing for that. It's like, it's a great card. And if we were early in our draft, like, we could just pick it up and then just like go hard on elementals. But once we're already established this late in the draft, I don't think we're in the you know, right build to be splashing. So we have Corpse Knight, you know, another fantastic card. They had Reprinter actually, where they printed it as a 2/3 instead of a 2/2. Ogre Siegebreaker, which is not that good, but it can do some stuff. Being a 4-mana 4/3 is already pretty decent. We'll pick up this Boreal Elemental here. The only thing that we really care about aside from that is, you know, Sentinel, and I think we're pretty decent on 2-drops. So pick up this Elemental here. Now we could get Ferocious Pup or Netcaster Spider. I kind of like the Pup because it combos well with our Ambusher. It combos well with Yarok's Wave Crasher. And they both fit on the same slot of our curve. We already have 2 spiders. We have Netcaster and Mammoth. So yeah, let's pick up this Pup here. Good Pup. All right, so Woodland Champion can range to get pretty good. And it's a solid just 2-drop. Cryptic Caves. We already have 1, but honestly getting a second one is pretty decent. I wouldn't be upset at all to pick that up here. And a Mammoth Spider and a Plummet. So I don't know if Plummet's necessarily something to care about that much. It's a great card to have, but there's some pretty high caliber cards here. So let's start really like building our deck and seeing what it looks like. And we'll make a pile of cards that we'd prefer not to play if we don't have to. And that'll help us dictate maybe our final picks here. We kind of just put like the more fringe cards. Matcher, we already have 2 pairs. I'm happy with that. I'm not a big fan of Bone to Ash, but in the right build. Okay. So we can definitely improve our 2-drops. You could also just pick up Plummet for the sideboard. Woodland Champion, let's see, how many token producers do we have? Here we have 2 pups. I might kill my pup. Ambusher. And Howling Giant. Okay, so it could get pretty, range to get pretty good. And, you know, you don't, I think he is great on his own. And, like, Greenwood Sentinel, like, the Vigilance is not terribly relevant. So I think, I don't know. It could get a little bit out of control. And I like it. I like it. I think the fact that it can upgrade a little bit it makes it a good pickup here. Timebound Lich. Ooh, when it enters battlefield, this counter. Ooh, that's solid. That's like a infiltrator, Shadow Mage infiltrator, but a little different. Undead Servant. Okay. Yeah, nothing we terribly care about here. Whatever we pick up is for the sideboard, and we'll just pick up this Moat Piranha. Maybe there's a hyper-aggressive deck that we run into. And Eternal Isolation. That's not a bad card at all. Okay. Nothing we terribly care about, though, here. Like, I don't think we're playing any of this stuff. I'll just pick up Healer of the Glade for if I need it for Standard or something. And here, nothing we care about, so I'll just pick up Ringleader. Veil of Summer. Yeah, it's not good either, like in Limited. So nothing we terribly care about here as well. I guess if we magically got a black card, we could pick up the Dismal Backwater. But, like, we already saw all the good cards, so there's no reason to pick that up. We'll just pick up the Veil of Summer for a collection here. Yeah, nothing we care about here. Just pick up the Bond. Pick up an earlier drop in case. One of the things that people don't take advantage of enough, and this is like good fundamentals to build for draft, is that sideboarding can often just mean changing your curve up a little bit in bad matchups. Where your opponent maybe is too aggressive or something. Okay, so I think we have enough action. Like, we could just cut this Gift of Paradise, and we just have to cut like one more card. And then we're golden. What are our non-creature spells looking like? So we have Rabid Bite, Feral Invocation. Sleep Paralysis, Bone to Ash. Overcome. Okay, so we can play all of these if we want. Yeah, the cut is a little hard. I really like a Mammoth Spider. Like, I'm really happy to play one here. We should like a Leaf Kindred or something, but I think the cut can go to one of our 2-drops. Maybe either could go, I think, to Metropolis Sprite or like Bone to Ash. A little hard to like hold up mana for Bone to Ash. You know, I don't know if we have enough ways to spend our mana instant speed for Bone to Ash. We'd have 1, 2. I guess 3 to protect our troll. 4. Ooh, it's a tough call. I think we'll board out the Bone to Ash and maybe we'll board it back in. And this is our deck. Seems pretty solid. We're gonna run it through and just get as many wins as we can. Hopefully three match wins. This is a solid keep. So we're going to drop an island and Sentinel. All right, so always attack first. Then we'll drop island and play a pup. Get a nice curve going. Our opponent can do a lot of things, but the reality is he spent turns 2 and 3 doing nothing. And on that alone means that, like, okay, plays a good 4-drop, we sleep paralysis. Plays a good 5-drop, we feral invocation something, or just develop a creature. Like, he's doing nothing right now. So we're gonna play a land to maybe threaten a Bone to Ash or something. And yeah, our opponent's got nothing. We'll just drop Octo Prophet here, set up our next turns. We'll bottom a land, keep the pup. I'm really excited to see the potential of Cryptic Caves in like in the future. I know sometimes like there are weird control decks that come out, and like a big problem is just card advantage. So having a land that can just cycle into card advantage can be pretty nice. So we'll do a pre-combat attack. Sorry, why did I say pre-combat? We're doing a like playing our spell before playing our spells. Yeah, our opponent has done stone cold nothing so far. We're just gonna drop a pup and hope he doesn't have like a stupid board wipe or something. But yeah, as it stands, like we're ready-o. Spaghetti-o. Enjoy your card, kid. You have done nothing this game. What do you got? I guess there is that breath of that like Dragon's Breath card that like deals 2 to everything, or non-flyers. Risen Wreath is a great value engine. Our opponent's so behind on life though that it's gonna be really hard for him to catch up. Ooh, especially with draws like that. Alright. So now we just have all of the draws in a row. We're going to swing in with our boys and maybe Feral Invocation for... Would that be lethal? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No. We can't Feral Invocation just like punch through his Druid. But I don't quite care about the Druid a whole lot. That it's like staying there. The fact is we're still punching for lots of damage, so like just short of lethal. And this way we get more value out of our Cutthroat if we like flash it in first at a later point. Well, we could do that still now, but I don't know. I'd rather just have the versatility, and maybe if he wipes the board, go like end of turn Cutthroat plus then Invocation, and also we have a 5/5. Alright, opponent generating some mana. Get a 4-drop. Frostlinks. Okay, that's a good pickup. What you gonna tap down, kiddo? The Octo Prophet. Is this maybe a matchup we bring in Bone to Ash? I don't really know. Probably anticipate first and then do your things, but that's okay. Yeah, I think the Cutthroat will give us 4 bodies, so we even next turn, unless he's like hyper cautious, we'll win. If he blocks everything, sure, we won't win, But then we'll have such a commanding position on board at that point. So we'll flash in the Brineborn Cutthroat. Next turn we'll have enough mana that if we draw 7, we can even go like Sleep Paralysis plus Invocation. If we Invocation now, we can... yeah, we'll have 5 attackers if we like Invocation a Pup. And then Sleep Paralysis something if we have to. And they're both common. It's not revealing too much information. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll tap down this boy. And yeah, wreck our opponent. Destroy his will to live. And for the next game, do we bring in anything? Opponent's like rocking an elemental deck. Ideally, if we had more like interaction. Bone to Ash seems pretty good, but I can't tell honestly. It's kind of hard to just think of. We basically just drew like our only flash cards, I think, except for Ambusher. Yeah, let's just run it right back. Where can I plug in my headphones? It's great to be back home, but my dog does not make things easy. Because it'll be like the perfect video, and then she'll bark like crazy, and all of a sudden you have to make cuts, you have to mess with the volume, and yeah. All right, this hand's solid. We got a nice 3 drops. Hopefully our opponent plays another game like they did last time, where they really just did nothing and then tried to catch up, but at that point it was way too late. Oh, he's got all right, early Stormkin. All of a sudden it's a completely different game. We have a turn 3 Spider to stop the Stormkin. Second Stormkin, okay. Wow, such a different game. Such a different game. But, you know, we have ways to deal with them, at least on board. The Lynx, though, that builds a lot of tempo. Like, that damage can literally mean the game, because he's going to get another 4 damage, and we can't block the... We could play Cloudkin Seer, which blocks these well, but then he's still incentivized to attack the Frost Lynx in, so it actually doesn't save us that much damage. I'd rather just be mana efficient, I think, and just drop Octoprophet. And then next turn we can go Cloudkin Seer, and maybe if we draw 2-drop. Alright, Pattern Matcher, which can help a lot with the grind. Brineborn Cutthroat. That'll be our 2-drop to go with Cloudkin Seer. And then maybe in the future we could go like Pattern Matcher plus Pup or plus Boreal Elemental. That seems good. Not enough mana to quite do that, but until then. Alright, 4/3 gives your elementals trample. Not bad. So we're up against the wall here. We could play a Fatter Flyer or a 3-drop and a 2-drop. We can go and we can hold up the 2-drop and go for some zestiness. If we play him, yeah, if we go Boreal Elemental, it's a way to, he really has to pay a lot more mana to deal with what we're doing. I think I should have scried Pattern Matcher to the bottom just because we do have a lot of stuff going on in our hands and not enough mana to cast it as it is. Even though it does get value with like 2 really important cards in our hand, these 2. Overgrown elemental. Oh my god. Okay, this is when things get a little tricky. Can block these two. So if we do this, these guys die, this dies, and we take 5. And then Overgrown Elemental gets pretty darn big. But we still retain a board state. And until we're at 0, we're okay. Yeah, I don't think there's a better way to block. So we're at 1. Got a 6-5 and a 5-4. So we want to generate a lot of toughness here to be able to trade and not take damage. So it's enough to like soak up and kill him, and then we would just need 1 more power. So we can go Seer plus Cutthroat and save the pup for just Pattern Matcher. Yeah, that seems good. And this helps us draw into some other stuff maybe. Ooh, Rapid Bite. Target tree control deals damage equal to its power. Target tree don't. Do these have hexproof or something? Like, why won't it let me even cast? Oh, right, I don't have green. I wouldn't cast. I don't have anything to cast anyway, but I was just curious. Okay, Fire Cat. Pup. All right, no problem. So we're going to flash in our Cutthroat here. And sweet. Okay, so Ambusher. Do we hold on to that? No. If we go... Oh, we don't have enough green to go Rapid Bite plus Ambusher and like take out his 5-4, unfortunately. Currently on board, we can go double block here. Double block here. Yeah, we have to develop at least 1 more creature. Yeah, I think Nightpack Ambusher can be a good flash play. And it enables some stuff that trigger like this off of it, and can maybe eat a creature he didn't expect us to eat. And just make combat a little tricky for him. If he draws a shock or something, we obviously just lose, or a removal spell. Like it can ruin us. Okay, so we'll flash in Nightpack Ambusher. Oh, and our opponent scooped? Wow, like we didn't... I don't think we would destroy him. I think like we would have... Yeah, I mean, we would have like wrecked the board a lot, but still, like he had such a fighting chance. Well, we're going to keep rolling here. Yeah, and game 2 was so much different because he had such an early board presence with 2 multicolored cards that... You know, in general, those multicolored cards, if you're casting them, you're doing well. And, you know, he cast the 2-mana 2/2 flyer hastes, beat us down all the way down to like 6, just off the back of those guys because he tapped down our 1 blocker and put us at such a low life total. But we got back the board state, which was the most important part. So here we have, on the draw, a pretty good hand because we have a 2 drops and then 2 3s and 2 lands, and we're on the draw. So I'm happy to keep this here. Because obviously I want to hit a land, but we have the most opportunities to hit our 3rd land with this 2-land hand because we're on the draw, and then also if God forbid we don't, like whatever, we still have some plays here. So Miscreant, yeah, unless you have the multiple, which then it gets better, they literally just don't do anything. So We're gonna drop the champion here because pup curves better with it. And eat 2. Okay, no problem. Chandra's Spitfire. When opponent's dealt non-combat damage, give it +3/+0. Alright. Bummer. Okay, so we can just might as well attack. He's not blocking. Maybe we can spook our opponent, put on full control mode. Give it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, sure. I'll let that happen. And then yeah, we'll just pass and we'll have Cutthroat to flash in. It won't actually throw off anything. It's just we might as well cast it on his turn. Brawler. Okay. No problem. We're going to flash in the Cutthroat here. Drop a land. And now if we send these guys in, it can punch through the Brawler, which is really nice. But I think for now we just develop our board. Like, yeah, all of a sudden we got, you know, 3, 4 worth of stats for 3 mana. But yeah, these miscreants, because they drew a card, they're significantly better. But 1 mana 1/1 flyers are not playable on their own. So protection from white, +2/+0 as long as it's attacking. Okay. It's kind of shocking to the community that they brought back protection. So we could sleep paralysis something and just like beat through. Or we can just attack and Feral Invocation surprise. Which I think is... Yeah, I think if we send him in, we can get our opponent pretty good. We just send in the boys, and we can Feral Invocation, and maybe even take out 2 creatures with our Feral Invocation. As long as he doesn't have a shock, obviously that would be real bad. But yeah, we're gonna go for the kill on his Brawler. Oh no. Oh no. Ah! No, okay. Well, it was a 1-for-1. It's still, that's a huge tempo play. That's the best a 1 summon can ever be. Gross. I mean, if we block here, we take 5, 6, 7, 8. Kind of have to block, and yep, we were gotten good. We have 3 power in the air. We could throw enough ground blockers to be at 1 life. And this can help us fire into our 5th land. No, but he can make a creature unblockable. Okay. With a Smuggler anyway. So like we're just toast. Alright, so we saw a lot of flyers. If that means anything. How aggressive was our opponent? Because these like can come in, I guess. If they were that aggressive. But no, I don't think so. I mean, they were aggressive, obviously, but they weren't. I don't know how, if it's like too over the top to like bring these guys in, because they also don't block too well against what he was doing. They literally just come and gain 3 life, and then you lose that life from not having a board state. Moat Piranhas might be decent. It's just like an early board clogger against the non-flying stuff. Yeah, we'll take out the Invocation. Not just because we got, but if our opponent's deck is just more interactive. And he's blue-red. So if your opponent's deck is more interactive, you can really get punished for using auras. Yeah, we're going to mulligan this hand. This hand is not that good either, but as a 6-card hand, it's decent. So we're going to keep it. We're going to London mull this to the bottom. Generally, once you mulligan to 5 and limited, you are toast. The London mulligan rule might change that a little bit. You know, the new mulligan rule that really gives you card selection. But if it's borderline and you're at 6 and limited, I'm much more inclined to keep it. Borderline 7, yeah, I'm down them all. Shut the fuck up, dog. Come on. All right, so we got the Octoprophet to clog up the board. Scrying lands at the bottom. Got a nice elemental on top. Now we're in business. Next turn, Braille Elemental, and then we take a turn off possibly, and then Howling Giant. Seems decent. All right, should we attack? And yeah, we could. If he wants to burn a combat trick, that's on him. I don't actually know how many combat tricks there even are. Like Champ, could get way better down the road, but I'm cool trading off. Ooh, Convolute. I forgot that card existed, and now it's in reprint. Yeah, count unless they pay 4. Generally not a good card in limited, unless your opponent's deck is really aggressive, because in the late game they can just pay the 4. But 4 is a lot to pay. The reality is, like, you know, there are plenty of formats where you have cancel and stuff, which is also 3 mana, maybe a little less restrictive than cancel, but like in limited you're only playing 2-3 colors at most, so you're gonna have the double blue, and the fact that it's not even always a hard counter is just fairly weak. So we got Overgrown Elemental, or 3 mana 3/2 that possibly gets a little better sometimes. And what makes Shock and Disfigure so good is there are a lot of, like, you know, 3 mana 3/2s and stuff like that, that if they just have a Shock, all of a sudden they trade 1 mana for 3 mana worth of cards, and good trade value. Mana wise, like tempo wise. I didn't even realize he had reach. Okay, so we have a 3/4 coming in. If we double block and he has a Shock or something, we are absolutely screwed. It is only 3 damage. I'm down to take it. Or an unsummon even, which he already showed us. Chandra's Spitfire. Hot damn. Okay, so we have Sleep Paralysis, which can lock down something. Do we care about the Spitfire that much? I don't even know. Let's just send in our boys. They're not blocking anyway. Yeah, we'll Sleep Paralysis the Brawler, I guess. If he goes for a double block, I'll take it. Ooh. Alright, so he traded that for it, which is fine. So this can, as a 1/3, yeah, keep toughness, right? So as a 1/3, it's not that great. It can get a little better. We have a Reacher though, which can block it just fine. Brawler currently is a 3/4. I think I'm down to just freeze down the Brawler. Punch for 2, okay. 7th land. Hot damn. He ain't blocking. I'll punch in. Maybe he has stuff he wants to do. Okay. Two wolves, baby. We have a nice reacher. 7 mana, 9 power. Fairy Miscreant. Okay. Reduce to ashes, 5 damage to our creature. Okay. We still got ahead on that transaction, but obviously we wouldn't want him removed. But we no longer have that choice. So if we send in all 3 of our guys, he can like double block, and we could trade like a wolf token with the Miscreant. He'll double block like 1/2 on a wolf, and then we could chomp him for 5. It's not ideal, but like we're lower on the resources here, and you know it's still value-ish, and he's gonna be able to make that trade anyway down the road. And then we drop a pup and second Spitfire. That complicates combat a little bit. Now if we send all these 3 in... Oh, we can't even send all 3 in. Yeah, now we just shouldn't send anyone in. Because if we send both these in, he can like double block 1 and then take 2. Ooh, Yarek's Wave Crasher. That is freaking hot. So we can return Pup to just get more power. Or we can get like the equivalent power, but on the following turn. And get Octo Prophet back in our hand. It's like almost like drawing a card, like it's getting us a new resource, which is really nice. So less soon. Whereas this, we can have 4 bodies that are able to attack. 2 of them would punch through. It's close. I think it's a very close call. I think given the late game-ness of what's going on, I think I'd rather just have extra resources and return the Octo Prophet. Ooh, great draw. So yeah, we're gonna go. If we had sent all 3 in, he double blocks 1 and can take like 6, which I think I'm okay with. He could also like maybe have a burn spell for the face, and that could change literally everything. But yeah, if he takes 6. All right, so if he has a burn spell, we're really screwed. But if he like takes 6 here, or just takes 4, I think I'm pretty happy. I just hope he doesn't have, yeah. If he's blocking like that, he doesn't have a burn spell, and he's chump blocking, so that's fine. Then I go Octo Prophet, the card he knew about. Scry to any lands to the bottom, any things to the top, because we just get to go a little wider. And then a nice Troll, which can protect himself from removal if that's ever relevant, but for the most part, it's just beaten for 3. And our opponent bites the dusto. And here, I don't think we're going to bring in anything. I think we're happy to just run it right back. Once again, staring at the Bone to Ash, but what can you do? I think our opponent's just too fast for us to be holding up 4 mana and possibly like getting screwed. I don't know how durable I'm gonna be like through this format. Like a lot of other draft formats, I play like for a good amount of time, and then I get bored, drop it and pick up Constructed for a bit, and here and there I'll like pop back into drafts and have like full days where I just draft a ton. But core set Magic is very, very simple, and while I typically am very good at these formats, I can get bored of it real fast, especially when core formats are imbalanced. In general, imbalanced formats make me like fairly bored because it's like, oh, you know, at one point it was like, oh, like Dimir is the best format in Guilds of Ravnica, best deck type, and every draft like you should just be entering Dimir, and like all my draft decks, my good and my bad ones, my busted ones, my whatever was Dimir, and even when I didn't force it because the colors were just deep. And sometimes even core set Magic is like that, where it's like, oh, blue's the best because I don't know, it's full of all these awesome flyers, or black has the best removal, or whatever it is. That like sometimes even core sets have such a color imbalance that it really makes it so that every draft you kind of just end up being in the same colors, or wanting to be in the same colors, and not because you're inclined to, just because the best stuff is in those colors. So I'm happy to keep this hand here. It does suck we can't go turn 2 Bark Hydrol, but yeah, we just have a lot going for us, and if we rip a second Forest, we're in good. So we'll drop the Forest first turn in case we rip a second Forest. Otherwise, we'll go Greenwood Sentinel, which is not bad. You know, hits for 2. Our hasty friend, Goblin Smuggler. If he offers it to attack, I'm going to trade. I'm trading a 2-drop for a 3-drop. In the late game, that card can be very problematic, so I'm okay. And I'll drop a Netcaster Spider. If we rip a second Forest, all of a sudden we can go 2-2-drops, which is why it's usually just better to go with the mana efficient plays earlier in the game. And just stonewall that, which is really nice. Can't really send in the Spider. So we're just play an Overgrowth Elemental and pass the turn. Opponent's got Miscreant number 2. I wonder how many Miscreants he has. Like if he just has like the 2 and I keep getting screwed, or if he actually has like a bunch in his deck. But his deck seems solid. You know, it's obviously he's beat us, and so we could send an Overgrowth Elemental if he wants to double trade. Like trade 2 Miscreants. Like it's not actually value for us, but I'm okay with that. If he wants to trade Denizen, if he wants to eat it, all those options are okay. We don't have too many elementals to really do anything. And yeah, we're gonna go just play our Sprite here. And end of turn, we'll just flash in the Cutthroat. Catch him off guard. But not really. 5/4, okay. 5 mana, 5/4. Big old vanilla elemental. I love me a Cutthroat. It's a pirate too, which is dank. So we can tap down his elemental just because it's a big dude. Yeah, I'll do it. Seems these. And we'll punch with a measly Sprite, and that's all we can do. And yeah, just see what's coming next. Lavakin Brawler. Alright. What's our Blands? Nope. Still a good draw though. So we can punch in for 2. Which is much more than 1. Good old pup. Never kill my pup. Sweet, adorable little doggy. It's got a nice 4/4. So we can double block with Spider and Pup. And if he has an unsummon, I cry. We can unsummon the token and also kill our Spider. I'm inclined to just take it. I don't want to get blown out by an unsummon. Ooh. Oh, we're short on the mana, of course. So yeah, we're just going to go for this pump here. We can also kill it for fun if we want. Yeah, just beat in there for 2. And he'll take 0 and draw a card. Okay, no problem. Would you play a card that said gain 2 life, draw a card? Come on. No! Alright, if we had overcome, it would be 2, 4, 6, 12, 15. Okay, it wouldn't quite be lethal. Oh no, it would be, we'd be pushing lethal, but we actually wouldn't end up being like that. But yeah, neither way, it'd be scary enough that he'd have to make some unfavorable blocks probably. Or an unfavorable block and take a bunch of damage. Wow. What happened, Holmes? We're just going to continually punch our opponent in the air for 2. Okay. He's got the Raider. Sometimes people get a little cocky and they'll play a card like Overcome and ram their boards in, only to just get, like, destroyed. So I would want to check that before I jam it down there. So if he played it now, Pup would only be a 2/3, so he can block that. He can trade with the Wolf. He can block something else. And if he wants to take the bare minimum amount of damage, he can. If we wait 1 turn with Howling Giant, Overcome is just like lethal. And we've played 2 games, so we didn't see the deal 2 damage to everything. So I think it's a safe call here. And yeah, it is the Convolute. So we'll just poke our opponent in the eyeball with Metropolis Sprite. Ooh, okay. Rabid Bite is gone. Alright, Pup is great because it helps us go just a little bit wider. Like, it gives us 2 bodies to go wide. And yeah, next turn we'll have 8 bodies. And he'll have 5. 3 will get through. It's tricky. We're also getting low on cards. Nice. Not like scary low quite yet, but like a couple of creatures away from just milling us out. I hope he doesn't have another creature, because then we're really facing some trouble here. Alright, so if we do this now, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 8 creatures. 3 we got through, which would be like at minimum 2, 4, 8. Yeah, if it's not the foul ball, so we could just play 2 dudes though. We can go troll and elemental and poke our opponents in the eyeball. And next turn, like, we'll not only we'll have 2 flyers in the air, which in itself will make for a bunch of damage. So now 6 blockers, these 2 in the air. At minimum, that's 5, 8. Yeah, that seemed I'm going to go out on a limb and just guess that's lethal. Especially with the pumps. Like Sprite can pump twice. If we actually... No, we had to... No, if we did an auto tapper mana, we'd have a third pump out of it. So... Yeah, our opponent is going to be just fine. By fine, I mean just very dead. Unless he's got like some interaction. And the current way he's lining things up, like 2 things would bounce off each other. Trade. One of his things will die. Yeah, this way he just dies from a 4/4 getting through. So yeah, just having 2 flyers in the air is gonna help us out a lot. He has to let a pup in, I think. If he lets a pup in, he lives. He'll lose more of his board and not be in a great spot. Oh wait, no, will he? Alright, this risks the shock but goes for lethal. Right? We have 8. Oh, this isn't blocked either. Right? Oh, it is blocked. Yeah, it's not blocked. Okay. You just die. Okay. Good game, kid. It was probably painful for y'all folks at home who are just able to watch me think through it and not inside my head. But I think we would have attacked a little too early if we did that on previous turn. And yeah, now we're 2-0. Might have to take a quick break between games to feed my dog. My own young wolf. Who's now an old lady. So this hand's pretty abysmal. We're going to mulligan it. This hand's much better. So we're going to keep the 6. Don't think anything we have even cares about double blue. And our hand's very green. So I'm actually just cool like keeping the caves over the island. Forest first to see if we can maybe hit that Bark Hydro on turn 2. Darn. But we got our backup turn 2 play. So, good draw. You know, just curving out. That's what it's all about. Okay, the ability for first strike later. And yeah, we'll drop a pup. I think green-white's theme is more like on the tokens end of thing. And they're probably just better at what we're trying to do than we are. So we can't go 2/2 drops, unfortunately. We could just go Barkhide Troll and have Madness protect it. But yeah, this card's a freaking house, the Warlord. Hanged Executioner. So you get 2 1/1s. And yeah, alright, well, that's a great card. Wow. Alright, so we go Forest. And drop her Woodland Champion. And even though we want our land to like be playing our, fat dude, I kind of like maybe cracking it just to find stuff. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Weird situation when you want to crack it just to find things, but you also have a 7-drop in hand. No reachers, right? Yep. Okay. Poke me for 2 homes. All right. Yeah, let's just keep it. Here we have Overgrown Elemental, which won't really do anything, but it's a play. And we're just going to develop our boards real big, and eventually I think he'll just win. It's very hard not to with things like Warlord and, you know, a lot of the green-white go-wide effects. But perhaps we draw ours first, or somehow go wider. The Executioner, though, that is great in limited. Yeah, we're getting beaten in the air for 4, and we can't even hit back effectively. So we go Cloudkins here. Not a bad pickup. It does unfortunately trade with the token. But, you know, we're on the defensive, so if we wanted to threaten to trade it with the Angel of Vitality, it can. And yeah, now we have the Overcome. So perhaps we can, if he gets a little feisty with his attacking, we can hit back well and like just lose a creature to Warlord, which is pretty nice. Like, deal. If he lost like our biggest creatures, it'll be a 5/5 and actually trade with the Warlord, and not a 5/5 and we lose value. It's like we'd still hit for 8, 13, 15. Yeah, we'd still hit for lethal, but he's playing smart all of a sudden, and yeah, holding back all these blockers. What do you got? Okay, gain 4. So I think we can still make this attack here, because it threatens to smash the crap out of him, and yeah, we're facing down a big attack on our turn. If we send everything in, he can, let's see, eat a 4/4. It's tough. Eat a 4/4, and you have 5, 7, 12, 16, 20, 24. He blocks like another 2 things. He loses board state, so this actually does become smaller. So he wouldn't be completely out of it, but not in a great spot. If we were close to Howling Giant mana, I would say risk it for the biscuit. But as of now, I think we just got to go for it. But if he like he can have a lot of good top decks, but the fact is, like, you know, he has a lot of damage in there, and we can't necessarily do a whole lot against him. Sentinel having Vigilance actually might be kind of relevant. Yeah, so he'll trade that over for anything else. And then you might have to make some unfavorable blocks here just to... Oh, was my math wrong? 14, 6, 9, 11, 12. If he gets 2 more bodies on the board, I guess I lose. But either way, we would have... That was our one chance. And if he doesn't have 2 bodies or like a pump spell or something, yeah, like he can't quite finish the job at the moment. And he can't even send like some of his flyers because, yeah, we're getting close, real close. If that was an overrun and not overcome, like, whole different ball game. Is that vigilance? Oh no, I was like, whoa, that card would be absolute. It already is pretty gross, but it would be like disgusting. So we can send in the Seer here. We could bounce the Seer. We could bounce the Wolf. Kind of like holding back the Seer, I think. We can play Wave Crasher, bounce the Wolf. That seems good. It's a nice beater. Still have mana to protect things. To protect our Bark Hydrol. Ooh, Eternal Isolation is great against what we're trying to do. It's got a 6/5. You just can't effectively deal with that. Yeah, you just win, dude. I can't do anything. If I were him, I mean, I just send everyone in, right? Like you don't have much to lose. Like you send in, you know, I'll eat this. Sleep paralysis doesn't quite solve our problems, but it's helpful to say the least. This could still activate its ability, which is annoying, but it would just solve that issue a little bit. So other than that, it's just like pup plus just pup or just Octo Profit. So yeah, let's just go with the more mana efficient play. We're in the hole though, that's for sure. And if we attack with Troll, we offer a trade. Or, yeah, no matter what, we just offer a trade with the Troll. So I'll take it if he wants to do that trade. Voice Claw, okay. This might be a matchup where you want our Bone Dash or whatever it's called. Can't take that trade. Finally, more lands, but like we don't want it at this point. So we can Octo Profit. We could pup. That's Octo Profit here. Get that Young Scry. Spider and Matcher. Spider is a good pickup. Matcher, I think did we already play Young Pup? No. Matcher's not bad, but at this point I'm actually fine with a land too, so. Ooh, 3. That actually might be lethal. That's a terrible card to be playing, but might be lethal. slash, so not lethal, but like, yeah, overcoming to the point where it's lethal. Or no, that is lethal. Okay. Yeah. The Vorse Claw would just be a factor of like making overcoming to the point where it basically is. So our opponent had a decent amount of flyers. We don't have any more reaches in our sideboard. Bone to Ash can come in, I guess. And who can we board out? You know, Sprite's pretty bad, I'd imagine. If he has like a lot of flyers, if it's like less aggressive. I'm making it to a tooth with no, it's not bad. It'll trade with some stuff. What would go out with Bone to Ash? Nah, we can't. You can't afford to board in. Let's just rock with it, I think. This would be a good game if we had that plummet, but we don't have it, so play first. Happy to keep this. We have a 2-drop. 2 mana, 2-drop, and maybe we can rock that third land. We're on the play, which makes it Taz-sketchy. This card does nothing. Ooh, that's upsetting. Get him for 2. And drop a Sprite. Courser. Okay. So we hit our third land, thank God, and just pup. It'd be cool if we could go Pattern Matcher into Boreal Elemental. But we're going to have to hit our land drops to do that. So Loaming Shaman's a cool card, like for Commander and stuff maybe. But, and also, you know, a sideboard card for some standard decks and modern decks. But the reality is it's just a 3-mana 3/2 unlimited. I don't know why I haven't been poking him in the face with this. So we got take action. Get a Ferocious Pup. And Thicket Crasher. Okay. Nice big boy. No reachers though, so we could continually poke him in the face for 1. And we could drop a Mammoth Spider or a Boreal Elemental. Spider blocks what he has going on better. But Elemental just attacks better, and I think that's what we're looking to do here. And next turn we can go like Rabid Bite plus Pup or something. But our opponent's holding up mana, so a little afraid of that. So let's swing in 4 in the air, like we just don't care. And drop a Spider, just the more efficient play. I'd rather try and go for Rabid Bite when like there isn't a chance our opponent has like a Pump Spell or something. And this turn, yeah, we just go another 4 in the air. And we could go Pup or Courser. Courser is just more power and it can like attack into his stuff better. So I like that. Yeah, we're not cracking this because we still need our lands to do stuff. All right. So now we're winding down a little bit. We're starting to get to that point in the game where really are in the market to just beat down. So we're definitely getting with their flyers as usual. And you know, we can lose some creatures to a combat trick or something. So we're gonna send in our 3/3s just because they're safe attackers. Not our 2 power dudes. And Mammoth Spider's also a safe attacker here. Does he have nothing? Okay, there we go. For each creature you control. Alright, so the 7/7. No problem. Opponent's at 4. And okay, we lost 2 creatures and they lost 2 cards in the whole exchange. If we had enough power, we can like Rapid Bite, finish that off, but we just don't. But yeah, at the end of the turn, it's just gonna be back to a 3/3. So we can play Pup or Troll. Troll's more damage, and we would have the mana to back it up. Plus, Brine Ward Cutthroat. I think I'm down just for a Troll, because it also works well with a Rapid Bite better. And this game's looking pretty much in our hands here. Mammoth Spider is not what we wanted to see. We don't have a creature that's quite big enough to deal with it. But we have a wide board. So, flashing in Brineborn. And yeah, our board's too wide. So, you know, good game there. And just run it right back. This time we're on the draw. I think from my impressions from blue so far, it just seems like a nice, like, flexible color with like some good flyers, some pretty good control cards, and like there's even like a control card that works good with flyers. You know, there's the mill deck, there's the guy who fetches Dragonfire Vials. This hand's great. Going turn 3 Wolf into Yarok. Wave Crasher seems like a solid play. Yeah, and it looks like, you know, one of those things that really just like a nicer, deeper color. And green just looks like it's good at what it does. So yeah, we'll drop the Pup here. The other 3 drops would, like, Corsair just is a great 3 play, but the fact that their turn 4 is going to look like that, we want it to synergize well. Gauntlets of Light. Plus, deals damage equal to toughness rather than power. That card's still bad, but very, very cautious about it. You could pay 3 mana to untap it. So, yeah, we did not hit the mana we wanted. So, that being the case, we either could play Pup number 2 or Corsair. And I'm down for Corsair because it also Rabid Bites the Spirit Well. And Hanged Executioner is annoying. So the pair of them are really annoying, I guess. Ooh, our opponent's whole board is really annoying. So yeah, we can go like Rabid Bite plus Sprite. Or let's crunch in first. See how our opponent reacts, if they want to trade or not. No. Okay. If that's the case, this card's considerably, it can be more annoying, but like, actually no it is, it's 3/3 basically, and it untaps. So, our Rabid Bite plus Sprite seems decent. Wave Crasher attacks real well though. But yeah, we want to relieve some pressure, so Let's drop this out. Sprite's not very good. And in this board state, it's like decent. Your opponent has a good amount of flyers in their deck. And like, yeah, he can't, if he was literally just a 2/2 flyer, obviously 2-mana 2/2 would be, you know, too good, but. Alright, so he's got the 4/3. We could play the Wave Crasher. We could play Pup and hold up mana for Metropolis Sprite to actually pump. It's all bad. I'd rather just, you know, set up our deck for future good plays. Do we want this Overcome? Part of me just says sure. Like, later on it could just finish off the game for us. For now we're here just to survive. We have a pretty stacked hand. Alright, so we do Mammoth Spider. It blocks his stuff well. He can obviously like hang Executioner and, you know, rid the board of him, but for now it's one of the stickier things that we have going on. Kind of regret actually topping the overrun. Like I don't think I should have, considering like we had more cards in our hand, and you know, 3 solid quality cards that once we hit 7 mana, like it's 2 spells a turn and all that. Also having mana to like pump Metropolis Sprite plus play something. Might of the Masses, and we lose that game. Well, it was a good match. The mistake we made actually didn't even like come up to end up biting us in the butt. Instead it was just, yeah, we just lost. So it'll happen. We're at 2 wins. We need to win 1 more and break even on this whole thing. Obviously, the more the better. Against Banshee. Okay. Show me what you got, kiddo. So we're on the drop, but we're gonna mulligan this hand. It's abysmal. This hand is more lands. It doesn't have our blue, but we have plenty of green cards, and we'll bottom probably like the Mammoth Spider just because it's the most expensive. We have our Ambusher, which is sweet. Or Spider, Netcaster Spider. Maybe it's 2. We're on the draw, so maybe considering we have a 3, we have a 4. We actually just bottom the Spider. Yeah, I like that logic. 3, 4, 5. All right, we got a Skelly. Okay. We'll play the Forest in case we get our double green card. Skelly's pretty terrible. There might be, you know, a deck that has ways to pitch it and really get value out of it, but all right, what are we exiling is the eternal question. I kind of like exiling just like a land. Like I might be too greedy, but we have turns to draw lands, and let's exile the Cryptic Caves here. I want to make sure we hit our colors. Red black. Okay, seems probably some sort of like aggressive, some sacrifice theme going on. That's typically how the core sets like to build red black, and you know, Magic in general, but especially core sets. The Smuggler is going to be a pain in our side most likely, but we can maybe Helm him really well with our big green dudes. We just have to soak up this like initial damage so that Smuggler doesn't end us later. And at the moment we could race, like we have, depending on what he drops here, but like, okay, yeah, Bone Splinters, no problem. Hit for 4. And yeah, we're gonna flash in our wolf and kill the 2/2. Most likely, unless he has something for it, but we're gonna do it during combat, so you know, A, he will be caught off guard and be swinging, and B, like, he'll need sorcery. He can't use sorcery speed removal on it. It'll have to be an instant. Even just as a 4-mana 4/4 flash, this card's decent. And we'll be like a 2-for-1, and you know, we're happy. Like that itself is already just like, whoa, what a card. And then it has all this gravy attached to it. Okay, nice skeleton kid. Do not care whatsoever. Pattern matcher, that could be nice later. We're gonna beat in for 4 here. And now we have the option of, like, next turn, if we have nothing really to play, we have the choice of, like, oh, do we, you know, play pattern matcher for nothing, or do we just pass turn and get a 2/2? Yeah, we're beating down for a lot. I'll send them both in. Got nothing to lose. If you want to chump and then get that back to your hand, like, that's on you, man. Now we get a nice 3/3, 2/2 that's buffed. And wow, like, we're doing well. Audacious Thief. This is the card that it could get pretty out of hand early in the game, but later in the game, board's too clogged. Unless, of course, we like alpha and all that. If we overcome right now, do we just win? Yeah, we have 16 trample damage. That sounds like enough. Yerp. We didn't quite have to reveal it, but I just want to make sure I win these games. Like, information is nice and all, but it's not the most essential piece of the universe. So we can bring in this, like, Moat Piranha, just as a little thing. It's probably better than the fairy. Just blocks better early in the game, and then we'll take over in the late game. Piranha eats more than Sentinel. It can't attack though, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think I've played cards before that are like Piranha. And even though you do lose some versatility, it like a 2/2 like will just trade with a lot of things. A 3/3 will eat a lot of things. So not a bad start. Got a 2-mana 3/3 followed by, depending on, we'll just start smashing, I guess, and see where it goes. See what our opponent's up to. Yarok's Fen Lurker. Okay, even though we just sideboard in Piranhas, I think we're cool ditching it. I like our other cards in our hand just a lot more, but I'm still happy we sided it in. Like, it's still a good card against this matchup. Yeah, we'll swing in. If he wants to double trade, that's cool. And Sentinel or Champion, considering we're looking at trading, like, Sentinel's just like, Champion has upgraded stats possibly later in the game, so you might as well just hold on to it because it works well with Howling Giant, and you know, we have another 2-drop to throw down. Fenlurker can be pretty good. But in reality, like it could be a 2-for-1, but in most of the times you're gonna have to pay 3 more mana to make it like a 2/2, and then it's 2-for-1. I think it's still a great card, but right. Deals 3 damage, gain 3, no problem. You know, his ability was actually relevant in that point because they couldn't target him. We'll eat this damage, no problem. My opponent just gained some life, but that'll happen. So if we go Woodland Champion plus Rabid Bite, that's not a bad play. I'll Rabid Bite the Lifelinker off the table. Because even though this can get bigger, that does eat up like his whole turn. And yeah, now the reason why I do that is that in the 2 spells in 1 turn, because now our Ferocious Pup's gonna be upgrading this, and it'll just upgrade into a nice big threat. Hopefully we rip some more lands to play Howling Giant, but every turn in between when we rip lands before we hit 7 mana is not fun, and that's like the weird part about playing like 7 drops in your decks. Like our deck, we definitely want our 5th land. The lands number 6 is like not almost like a waste. Ooh, get the 2 treasures. Interesting. So yeah, we're gonna play Pup pre-combat because it helps our champion out a bit and punching through. He's definitely not going to want to trade the dragon, but who knows? Might be surprised. Getting some solid beats in. Overgrown Elemental's not going to really do anything for us, but it's there. It's just the 3 mana 3/2 in most of these games. It's gained us a couple of life, I think. So interesting how treasure have just become like such a more common thing to see in the game. Right, if you're not blocking, you better be attacking. And yeah, if our opponent wants to like pump twice, then he can just eat it. So I'll just not block it. If he wants to pump and deal more damage to me, that's cool because I'm still chomping at him. So he's got another play. Hopefully not another like 5 mana play. Ooh, Cutthroat. Were any of my creatures dealt damage? I don't think so. Nope. Okay. So we hit our 5th land. That's real cool. Drop Overgrowth Elemental. Nothing to actually put counters on, but you know, ways to gain life pre-combat by casting it pre-combat. So we're gonna send in the champion, even though yes, it could be upgraded later. We want to get as much damage in as we can, and we're not looking at being here for this big long haul of a game where that will matter too much. Because our opponent's eating it anyway. Living on the edge of our seat. Getting punched for 3, no problem. So this alone, it puts us on a 3-turn clock. If we send all of our 3 power guys in next turn, we do present lethal. It won't actually be lethal, or I think, but it'll shrink down our opponent's board, which is fine. Ooh, land number 6. So close. Given that we're so close to that, maybe we should hold off on the Woodland Champion. Because that'll make it a 5/5. And he's blocking this turn anyway, so I think he would be looking to trade with Woodland Champion. No pump spell, please. Ooh, 1/1 and double strike. All right, so it'll live. I mean, he could have dealt like a lot of damage to us with the flyer. Instead, like, he's trading the double strike spell for, and also because that's first strike damage, we gain life off of elemental, even though it's about to die. And yeah, we're 1 land away from getting some hot stuff. We might be in a spot next turn where we kind of just like have to cast something, and even if we draw something that like isn't land number 7 or it doesn't impact the board, our back might be so against the wall we might have to crack our land just to draw a card. But the fact that we even have that option is amazing. Like this land, Cryptic Caves, is very impressive so far. Reduced to ashes, 5 damage. Dies exiled. Okay. I think we'll just eat both this damage if he sends them both in. We can chump block to save some damage, but then if we draw our 4-drop, we won't have a thing that we want to return. Does chump blocking actually save us a turn at all? Not quite yet. I think we take it. And let's hope for our 7th land here. Nope, but that's a flyer. And a start. And we'll get him for 2, and we could chump block this turn. That's a weird art. Just like, it's like a new version of Incinerate's art. Like you could have printed this art on Incinerate, and I'd think, okay, that's a little brutal, but straightforward Incinerate. Darn. Okay, but that is something. Can't attack. Yeah, we're just gonna play the Cutthroat on his turn. If we have to fish for a card, we will. Golem destroyed target non-land permanent and opponent controls. So as it stands, that's pretty gross. And I don't think we have too many things that would change what's going on here. So that dies. Opponent goes to attacks. We don't want to double block this because the problem with double blocking is it'll be a trade double block. So I'd rather just chump the pup. Our precious pup. and go down to 1. And we just got to rip our 7th land. That'll help us out significantly. We'll obviously still have like our backs against the wall, but Howling Giant I think is a big part of our stabilization because he has reach, fills up the board for some good blocks to eliminate his side of the board. Nope. That is not land number 7. And that is not a flyer. Oops. Let's undo that one. And now we have to crack it and just see if we can find anything. Watch it be land number 7. Yeah, it is, boy. And we scoop. But game 3. Does anything change for us? Not really. We're on the play this time, so Bone Dashes gets a little better. Yeah, how good would Piranha be? Piranha would be decent. We keep it in. We're so close to getting our zesty 3 wins. Break even on the GMs. And we're going to keep the 7 here. It's not a great 7, but if this was the 6, I would be happy. If it was 3 lands, 3 dudes, I would be ecstatic because it's like early drops and yeah, on the play. And we start with the Sentinel here. We don't have token production going on early, and if he did this into Young Wolf, that would be pretty sick. Yarix. Darn you. Yeah, we'll pitch an island, I think. Do we have any double blue stuff? No, I don't think so. So we swing for 2. Get that young damage in. And we'll just play like a really good beater. Nice Corsair. Classic Corset Magic, this pair right here, 2 into 3. It's nothing special, but it beats down fairly well. We even have the 3rd card to complete the trifecta of pure Corset Magic with Rabid Bite, which we'll use to finish that Audacious Thief off. Punch in for 5. Like, you could find all those cards in basically every pre-constructed like deck that you see like for new players for free has those 3 cards for like the past like 5 years. Keldon Rider. Okay, that card does stop what we want to do a little bit. Ooh, he does discard a pretty good creature, so he must have a pretty... He's probably low on mana and just... I don't think his hand would be that stacked. We're going to send our 3/3. If he wants to do the trade, sure. If he wants to take it, that's fine too. And we'll play a nice Netcaster Spider, which we would have loved to see last game. Like, just whatever. I think we pitched... We scryed away a Spider at the very beginning, or mulliganed away a Spider. But yeah, it would be really nice if we had that Mammoth Spider that game, because that would have just dealt with his stupid flyer. Unless I'm recalling it wrong, and maybe we did have one and he removed it. I don't know. Anyway, punch in for 3. This is the classic core set 5-drop here. He's in a lot of core sets, a lot of sets, just as your standard, like, you know, 5 mana 3/5 reach. Oh, okay, so that saves him. Not bad. Play a big old Spider. We're out of gas, but we have four dudes on the board. So we're faring okay. It's a decent draw. And yeah, we'll punch in with our 3-5. Murder. Wow. Alright, but we got a 3-3 that he can't quite murder that easy. And he could start beating down if our opponent doesn't play anything too big. Ooh, with a dragon. Screw you and your dragon. Luckily I have a little spider. Come on, man. Turn. Good draw. We're gonna send in our 3-3 here. If he wants to do the trade with the 4-3, I'm cool with that. Anything to limit interruptions is fine, because we're gonna drop a nice 3-4 here. Now we have 2 blockers for his flyer. We have a good attacker on the board. It's looking pretty good. And the attacker, you know, he will have a lot of mana to do stuff, but mill 4, gain 1 life for each creature put in the graveyard, and he mills that. Okay, no problem. What else he mill? Oh, he has the Cavalier. Holy crap. Hope he doesn't have a way to get it back. That'd be scary. Now if we attack with the Boreal Elemental, he can double block, which is really upsetting. Ooh, second Vulture. Darn. Alright, Wave Crasher does not get us any value, but we should probably just play it. Just to play it. Right? I can see this game going in many different ways. The value from Wave Crasher can get us over the top. But the 4-4 body, he's in a position to just double block it is the problem. You know, I'll try saving it for like a turn or so for value. Maybe we'll rip like a young wolf or something. Scorcher, that gives him 2/1/1s, right? With haste. So drop land number 6. And yeah, let's just sandbag it. We're in like an iffy spot right now. Didn't expect him to have so many flyers. 2 vultures and the dragon. I mean, we're just gonna go for a chomp, right? We'll go for a double chomp. Make sure that thing's dead. If he gives it death touch, I'll cry. That's the rule. Okay. Oh, he has the thing that destroys a creature that was dealt damage this turn. The 4 mana guy. I still make that block though. I can't like let him just like bluff that stupid stuff. Ooh, Ambusher. That is hot. Yep. I wish we could just catch our opponent on a stupid attack. I'm really anxious as to what that one card in his hand is. Alright, it's a Goblin Smuggler. I hope he just sends everything in. It says YOLO. We just want our Ambusher to live, and we want to get him good. Send him in, boys. Yeah, I mean, you should... Like, on board, it looks like you should just send in the Fathom Fleet. And we're going to flash in Ambusher. Block here. Trade here. We can't block that. Now we can even sandbag this Wave Crasher even further without repercussions. But we got a pup. Thing is, though, if we just pass turn, we get a pup. So it's kind of a funny situation where we should just pass turn. Even though the pup gets the pump. And if we attack, he can like double block and trade a token for it. Let's just pass turn and get another wolf, pump our dude here. It's looking good. If we get a 7th land, then we can go pup Wave Crasher. Your opponent's board is just full of little dudes. The Smuggler is obviously a threat, and having a flyer is annoying. But as long as Ambusher sticks around, we're accumulating some pretty hot value. He can Smuggler the Lurker, and like that damage adds up, but that does take up his whole turn to just pump it a little bit. He also probably didn't mean to tap his mana like that. That might have been auto tap. Silly enough. All right, crack the treasure because, yeah, auto tap probably screwed him there. Sweet. So, yeah, we can develop a flyer here. Blocks his flyer well. If we smash in, he can like quadruple block. We could take out 3 things. So we could just smash with everything with like the 2 3/3s, I guess. If he wants to triple block this 3/3. Yeah, I guess I'm down with that. If he wants to triple block our champion. And sure, we'll kill his 2 elementals. Punch him in the face. And play Boreal Elemental. And now it's like the Smuggler that'll be like his big out to things. We want to rip our 7th land. That would be ideal. And then we just go 1/2. And set ourselves up real good. I actually don't like that I traded him off. That was a little stupid. But what can you do? We made our bed, and now we lie in it. So land number 7, the land we were praying for. Yeah, we just send in our elemental and this 3/3 here. And we could send... I'd rather hold on to the Sentinel and not get chubbed. Uh-oh, what do you got? What do you got? Don't threaten me with that. That blank card. Alright, going for a low block pump. Lurker is still a 2-for-1, which is nuts. But yeah, if he wants to chump block my 3/4, he probably has something in hand, but like, if he has a disfigure, I'll cry. What do you got? Oh, Death Touch. Okay. Can do that. And we'll go pup. No worries though, because we'll return our pup. And blammo. Look at that. Look at that board. Look at that board. In our Wolf Elemental Tribal deck. And next turn, if we just push everyone in, like, we don't have much to lose. Because you can't do any fancy blocks because we just have big creatures on a wide board, which is really nice. Obviously, we don't want to lose our Ambusher, but... Steel Overseer. That card is cool, but why? What do you have in here that... Meteor Golem, that's it. And itself, I guess, it dirtles with itself. You know, actually, that's not terrible. There has been a 1-drop that dirtles with itself like that. And only himself. And he was actually a pretty good 1-drop. So, if we send everyone in... Yeah, there's no way to kill anything. You can, like, triple block Ambusher. But yeah, we just wither his board down so much. If he kills our Ambusher, that like triple blocks it, he won't die. If we send everyone but the Ambusher in, we're good too. That's like the safer play, I guess. Sure, let's squanch him like this. And we won't actually even play anything this turn, just so we get the trigger off Ambusher. And wait for Pup when we have a turn with something else to do with it. So, because like neither way, we're just getting a Wolf out of the ordeal. And this is a 1/2, but I guess depending on how he blocks, shouldn't matter a ton. If he did like that, he would take 7. Like, he's getting some value in some places, but then he's losing some in others, and his blocks are not great, like however he does it. His back's against the wall. I just want to play it super duper safe with Ambusher. Because once we lose him, our board does like get significantly worse. And even though he can like chump up and everything, there are some cards that he could just drop and all of a sudden like make our Ambusher scary. I mean, make our board way less scary, even if like Ambusher is dead and he could just like deal 2 damage to everything or whatever. So we won the game that really mattered, the game that let us break even. And now we're just playing for profit. Now every game we win is just extra sauce, right? Like, we're happy to have it. Get more gems, play more Magic. That's our ultimate goal, is just to play as much Magic as we can out of our buck. But yeah. And this hand's decent. We got a 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop. The best 4-drop, mind you. Just gonna turn on the fan. So, drop an island. Courser's like the better 3-drop, and we already have 3, 4, 5. So we can hold off on the Cloudkin Seer if we want. Because, I mean, it does fly, but this beats through the ground better. But we are on the draw. Ooh, Scuttlemutt. I forgot that card existed. It's such a cool card. I guess because we have Overgrown Elemental, I'm down to wait on the... I'm down to like prioritize Courser over Seer. They're both great cards, but at the end of the day, like, I want to play this on 5. And on 6, either this lives and we maybe put a counter on that, or we have Cloudkin Seer, and maybe we have 3 elementals on board, and all of a sudden his second ability starts to get real juicy. Double Scuttlemutt, eh? I wonder cases where the second ability is relevant in this set. We don't have the 4-drop ability. We can't play Night Pack. So if that's the case, we can play Cloudkin Seer. We could send Courser in, and like if he wants to make the trade, sure. And like double block. I'm afraid of like all of that mana. Jeez. Yeah, he's gonna play some ginormous thing. Even if it's just like the dumb 7/7, like that itself is pretty darn scary. But we ourselves, we have some pretty scary shit lined up for what our opponent's about to encounter. But yeah, he has 7 mana on turn 5. But now he has even more mana. So it's like, okay, you're playing... these 2 cards aren't too bad. But like at the end of the day, like you need to turn your ramp cards into something. Otherwise, you're just playing a bunch of bad cards. So... I guess given how much action we have in our hand, on turn 5 we're just going to drop Boreal Elemental. And we'll save Ambusher for a later point where maybe we drew out our opponent's removal spells with Boreal Druid and Howling Giant. And we have the Howling Giant tokens left over. Stuff like that. Do we take the trade? He offered it. I'm down. Alright, dude. MTG Mia. I'm going to squanch you for 3. And then Islands, Boreal Druid. Elemental. Boreal Druid. That is a snow elf. This should be a snow elemental. A snow creature. Elemental, Like Boreal Druid was a snow creature elf. Look at the little kitty. I forgot. I didn't even realize this existed. But I bought the extra tier thing for some extra stuff. Reduce to ashes, no problem. Now we smash for 3. If we go Ambusher, we can go Ambusher Sprite. Or we can go Elemental Sentinel. I'd rather wait to Ambusher like an attacker. If we can. Let's just get the most value out of it, especially if our opponent's playing some 3-color amalgamation of a deck. Like, you gotta be careful with how you play the role of, are you the aggro player, control player in the matchup? And you know, our opponent certainly is the control player, and I don't think we're quite there to just aggro him out that hard. I shouldn't have let that seer die. I shouldn't have taken the trade because we lost both our elementals at that point. I mean, after the other one got exiled. Alright, Sorcerer of the Fang, no problem. He likes snakes, I think. Yeah, there's a little snake next to his foot. Let's rip a 7th land and go Howling Giant. Ruin his day. Alright, dog. Do you have nothing? Yup. Yup. Alright, so we'll send our dudes to the red zone. And he could like double block and basically just trade up his Scuttlemutt into the Courser, or he could block, like, take not a lot of damage, and you know, he has good blocks on his end, but like, we're totally okay with it. We're okay with whittling his board down a bit. Because we just want to deprive him of his resources before we go Howling Giant into Night Pack Ambusher. Give him the least amount of things we can he can have to deal with our stuff. So what? My man, if you're gonna make that block, you make that block here. You don't even have to make that block, but alright, I'll kill your 2/2. And sure, I can't gain life off of Overgrowth Elemental. I guess he is afraid of us having just more elementals and stuff. He doesn't know our deck, but and he did see, like, the only other creatures he saw were 2 elementals and then these boys. So I guess I could see that, like, him wanting to just get it out of the way before it gets out of hand. But yeah, that's not how our deck plays. Now we got 2 wolves. 2 wolves. And then we're just gonna, ooh, alright, so even though we reduced the ashes, we're still left over with the wolves, so we are happy as can be. Yeah, we'll just send the boys in and flash in Night Pack Ambusher and finish the game. Unless we want to keep that a surprise, we are so ahead on board that really can just, yeah, let's not show him that. Then we just play like a Metropolis Sprite. because that is good information to hide, considering we're about to win. Like there are so few cards that can save him, and the ones that could, he still can't deal with a ambusher later. So, what did we see that game? Not a whole lot. We saw Scuttlebutts and Ramp and nothing. So imagine we're on the aggressor plan. Does that make any of our things better or worse? Not really. We're on the draw this time. If we saw what he looked like his deck was gonna do, and then we were on the play, bringing Bone to Ash. Like if we go to game 3, I think that's a good time, because then he ramps all his stuff into a big stupid thing that gets just countered. But yeah, we're on the being on the play versus the draw makes counters significantly better. Whereas especially a 4-mana one like Bone to Ash. So we're on the draw here, and one lands and we're golden. We have 3 draws to hit 1 land, so we're gonna keep this. We have Temple of Milady. Scry at the bottom, no problem. Ooh. Let's try to hit that 3rd land. So you can go pup. Leaf Kindred, okay. Damn it. Well, free attack. Let's go on full control mode. It's got that young disfigure. Nope. Our deck could have been a lot better if we just had like a Leafkin Druid instead. Golos. I guess that's the reason why he played that enchantment. Because it's just like 2 more colors than what he's maybe normally rocking. This is a mess. Joel, why do you do this to yourself? Feral Invocation maybe? I don't really know. I guess Mammoth Spider. Invocation's not a great card, but that could be just the card we need. The value. Two one flying first strike. No problem. Alright, dog. I don't even know why I discard a card like that. Holy smokes. We are so dead. Let's just see what other information he gives us, and then we'll scoop it up. Like we're gonna keep flying, but like I'm saying, like mentally we'll scoop it up. We're gonna be a little bit less patient. I do want to be time efficient, and you know my time is valuable and all that. And I've been bonked for 5. What else you got? Courser. Alright. 3rd land finally. What's the best 3-mana play we got? So we can like swing in and hope to get our opponent off Invocation. It says first strike. Damn it. Pup. We want to go on a fish and play. Pup's fine for that. Yeah, let's go Ferocious Pup. I can't afford to get blown out with Feral Invocation. If this is the only artifact, well, I have these 2 actually, so we could board in our artifact removal. More so for him. All right, so we could double block the 3/3. Yeah, that seems good. If everyone has a kill spell, we cry. Yep. And we do cry. Yeah, let's scoop it up. We saw enough. Kept a dumb hand, maybe. So, for Golos and some other stuff, let's try our effective sham and gain 3 life. We could play it. Should we play it? Not quite sure. Yeah, let's take out an invocation and we rolling. And this hand's not great, but we got a solid turn 2 play and plenty of time to draw into our 5th lands, and one of them has to be blue. I think it's a fair keep. Is our opponent going to keep 7? And so we have a turn 2 Bark Hydrol. Opponent mulligan down 1 card. And in those situations, in some decks, you could really capitalize on it. In our case, like we're just mindful of it. Our opponent is on the draw, so it does even things out card advantage-wise. But sometimes you can really capitalize on that fact. If your opponent, say, mulligan to 5, all of a sudden, if you just 1-for-1 them on cards, then they're down to nothing, right? And you're left with 2 cards because you were always 2 cards ahead. That's what most good control decks are all about in Constructed. It's just 1-for-1ing and getting slight card advantage at some point, and before you know it, they're out of things. This trade feels bad, but we'll make it. Just because ours is a cooler creature, but in reality, it's a 2-drop for a 1-drop. Which is basically the same thing, because especially given the circumstances that he plays 1-drop on turn 2, so it might as well be a 2-drop. And we're gonna flash out Cutthroat, and we might just play Wave Crasher on it. Yeah, that seems good. We'll get it for 2. And now our opponent's stumbling on lands, so we really got to take advantage of this as an aggressor. And there's no impassing on playing a bad Yarick. Who is Yarick? Is there a card in here? Oh, is that the Sultai dude? Doubles battle cries. Doubles ETBs. Whatever. Alright, we'll chomp in for 4. Listen, we had a bad game last game, and we didn't, that's a win for our opponent. And they have a bad game this game, and that's going to be a win for us. Like, you can't for every game that your opponent has like this that you can have discredited, there are games that you have like that. So unless you just keep dumb hands like me and all of a sudden, like, you know, maybe you have those games a tad more often if you mess up and don't keep good hands and all that jazz. Gift of Paradise. All right, so he could catch back up into this, but we're just really head on board right now. And the best thing we can do is just try to get up in the sky. Like these two things are nice, but next turn we can go two things, the Rapid Bite and like a Ferocious Pup or something. Spider. Okay. Target creature you control, target creature you don't control. And then smash him for 10. And yeah, our opponent is toast. So we are 5-1. 4-1. Yeah, 4-1. And 5 is the ultimate. So we're already up 300 gems. Win this one, we're up 600 gems from our initial entry fee, which is pretty solid, you know. That helps make up for when we don't have great drafts. Oh, it's against Show. Wow, that's cool. So I guess we keep this. Alright, we're going to drop an island. Oh, no, we should have dropped a forest. I'm stupid. Oh, well. Let's... Yeah, if I had my own Bark Hydro, then I will cry. Alright. Good on me for messing up and not getting terribly punished. So he's on some sort of green build. And we're going to drop Cutthroat out. And go swing in for 2. Because we can. And then Cloud Kinseer. And we got our Ferocious Pup named Scooby-Doo. We're gonna eat 3. And I guess Show is mana screwed here. Because he's not playing a whole lot. We're just gonna chomp in for 4. Drop a forest. And we play a pup. We play Wave Crasher. Pup is just more value. Can't pass up on the value. Without, and also like we want to, like this detracts from our damage if we bounce it, even though it's like an actual card. 3rd forest. Does that enable anything? Nope. Okay, I guess he's missing a color too, or he's got 4 drops in his hand. More likely just more so the color. Hexproof. Alright, so we can poke him in the eyeball. 2. Drop Forest. And yeah, let's play Wave Crasher. Bouncing. Zip up. And sweet, now we got an island. We don't want to show up too much information here. Yeah, we just send these boys here. And he already knows about the pups, so that's not a ton of information here. And we go Woodland Champion pup. Woodland Champion pup. For some extra destruction, you know. It's not every day you get to play against Show. Even though it is revealing more information, it's not really actually important information. So we destroyed Show, and he can eat it. But now we're on the draw. What do we bring in? I mean, like, stupid Bone to Ash, man. All I do is stare at that shit. We just know he's on green. Yeah. Radio SpaghettiOs, dog. Show. I feel like he's always Vivian when he streams and stuff. I catch his stream. I don't watch too many Twitch streams. I'll keep this one. I guess I have to ditch the Overcome. Yeah, I don't watch too many Twitch streams. But usually when I do, it's like multitasking. I'll be like doing something for work, where it's like spreadsheets and stuff, and I can like kind of. It's more tedious work. I could just like kind of have something in the background without detracting me too much, and I'll put in like a Twitch stream or Netflix or something. Or if there's a big tournament going on, I'll usually watch it. Let's swing in. If he wants to do the trade, I doubt he will. It's there. Let's do Courser. Courser's good. I like the card very much. Ooh, Boreal Elemental. I have one of those. Pup. And then just pass. Maybe Show is like he knows what's up. Take 5. Maybe he knows what's up and like green blue is the best ever, and I just lucked out my first draft with a set. Who knows? So we got a pattern matcher, and that could find us a second pup. If we drew a land, we could do that with Boreal Elemental. But for now, I want to play something, dude. And but Boreal Elemental is just the better thing to get with pattern matcher. Mom, help me. Okay, let's just. Oops. No, let's remove it. I don't want that stop. But yeah, we'll get in there with these guys. Faux-tree. And really don't like this pattern watcher, but I'll play it. Wow, his deck is really hurtful if it actually works. Lamau. So we could just play hit Boreal Elemental. Or we could go Pup plus Bite. Which I kind of like more. Pup. My butthole. And then Bite. And then maybe we can stabilize with our Boreal Elemental on our turn. Tracker is quite the grinder. Drop the island. Ain't attacking. Just play Elemental. And yeah, just pass. But he has the grind here. The Brightwood Tracker. Oh snap! Field reveal top 5. Put a land onto the battlefield. It's in the graveyard. Okay, that card's not insane, but real good. Real good. But we're both at low life totals here, and maybe I could just push through. Okay, so we got just battlefield, create 2/2 wolf. All right, lots of scary stuff. Boogity boogity. Put a counter on that. He has reach, disgusting. And yeah, we'll just pass it up, and we put our overrun effect on the bottom this game, I'm pretty sure. Unless that was last game. I think that was this game. So, Risen Reef. You bastard. Elementals are just so strong. We have mild elemental synergy, and it's still pretty good. Air Elemental, gross. This would definitely be a matchup where Plummet would be hot. Some hot potatoes. Stabby will just stare at him. Put on full control mode for that hot bluff. If we send in everyone, we'd send in 3, 7. Yeah, one thing would get through. We'd make one unfavorable block and then destroy our board. That's not worth it. Anticipate? I did not anticipate that. The young land. You don't use the land bluff, fam? The land bluff? Oh wait, this card's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. Holy smokes. Why didn't I pick that up? I didn't actually read it. Gross. Yeah, shields down, I got nothing. Scuttlemutt. You son of a gun. So I got the troll. And yes, it is your turn. Boreal Elemental. Oh boy. Blam. Yeah, I wish I was a little more like hesitant at the pattern matcher and got Boreal Elemental number 2. Oh, Brightwood Tracker. So much value. I don't know if I could keep up with it. I guess at this point we're just looking for information. Like we definitely lost. Even if he makes like an attack and hide your spells cast, whatever you creature control becomes target spell. Oh my god. Give that a nice. And then give that a scoop. Oh, show. Senpai. Why do you do this to me? Why you do this to me? Do we play bad Zephyr Charge for some shock factor? Do we cut anything? Not really. That's not how that works. We gotta cut something. We cut the Sprite. Pepsi. Sprite's pretty bad. But he has big flyers too. Just wow. I give it to wow. He's got the Hydra, the Cavalier, like 10,000 flyers. Risen, the Reef. That guy that lets him like tap a bunch of mana. See, I didn't realize the Vivian's Grizzly, like, so it only lets you see the top, and a lot of times it was just a land. While this dude, even, like, he's 6 mana at a tap, and you look at the top 4, like, you're going to find something. So I actually really regret not picking him up. In a lot of board states where you could just get stalled. Oops. My bad. Be on the play, and this hand is decent. We'll keep the 7. We go champion into pup, and maybe we could just overcome our opponent. Last game kind of started off because he had like Warden of Evocile into that 5-drop, and now made 4-drop flyer, which was really scary. We're gonna drop this pup here named Scooby-Doo, and we have a pretty nice aggressive start here, a good curve, but we don't have the proper mana for Bone to Ash, which is upsetting. Alright, so we just sent in the boys here. Oh, yeah, I really wish I had Bone to Ash mana. More like Bone to Ass. Am I right? Am I right, Squidward? Just bash me with a bat, Sari. Ah. Alright, Warden. Oh no! That's not good. That's like a whole board state right there. So now we have Bone to Ash mana and Overcome mana. Does Overcome... No, we can't quite do it yet. But like we can set up for a pretty nice Overcome. I think we just Bone to Ash anything. Oh, that's an anything. We will Bone to Ash that. Do you want to send in your elemental fam? Nope. Yes? Okay, what is this looking like to us? If we played Overcome now, we'd have 5, 10, 14 trample damage. We're very close. We'd have 14 trample damage and 5, 10, 14. Oh no. 10, 14, 16 trample damage. We could put our opponent at 1 and he would have to make unfavorable blocks. But we wouldn't necessarily roll the board. So I'm gonna go Wave Crasher and grab the pup and pup. And then swing in with Woodland Champion, especially because I don't want to just get blown out if like even though yes it's nice to have more bodies on the board, I get the Air Elemental off, and if Overcome gets countered, I don't want to just like lose all of a sudden. Like if he has the whatever, you know, the thing. So Overcome now, we get 4, 8, 13, 19, 21 damage, trample. He's got 4, 5, 9, 10. So, oh, but we have Rapid Bite too. I think that's a good game. Go Overcome. And then Rapid Bite. Pick him, and we'll pick your big Butte. Yes! Oh, okay. We beat Show. That's what really matters to me. Oh my, alright. And you know, we got a nice 5-win draft here with our green-blue deck. Nice. Get them 6 packs here. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like if you had fun watching this video. And yeah, let me know what videos you want to see. I'm going to be sure to be drafting more core set and putting out some more videos on that, as well as some tips and tricks to help you just crush these drafts and figure out this format and just make it through this arena grind. Well, anyway, this is the Mana Shark.